A new research by Ipsos shows South Africa's trust ride e-hailing services more than ever, with 90% saying they feel safer using them, especially at night. And as we head into the busy festive season, safety becomes even more important for both riders and drivers. E-hailing platforms are now rolling out enhanced safety features, from upgraded trip monitoring to stronger emergency support to keep everyone secure during this high travel period. To unpack these findings and to walk us through the latest safety measures ahead of the holidays, we're joined live by Simo Kalajdzic, Senior Operations Manager at Bolt, South Africa. Simo, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Let's talk about the safety features that are standard across e-hailing platforms these days, and in some jurisdictions statutorily required for e-hailing platforms to have. How well do these platforms, how well do these features fare with users, and do they prove to be effective?
Good afternoon, Oliver. Thank you for having me on the show, and good afternoon to your listeners. That is a very good question. And if I just quickly reflect back on the survey, 92% of the users who responded did mention that safety is the main critical decision maker when it comes to the use of ride-hailing services. When it comes to the type of features and measures in place on ride-hailing platforms like Bolt, I'll start at driver onboarding, because that's the first step in the process when we onboard our drivers. Each and every driver we onboard onto the platform is mandated to submit the required and necessary documentation as per the regulation. And it starts with the professional driving permit, as well as a background criminal check. And we do believe that we are leading this space, especially when it comes to the authentication and validation of these documents that are submitted to us. We've got a direct line of integration with the eNatus system, as well as the background check database, which then gives us an easy link to quickly and seamlessly validate and authenticate each and every document submitted to us. Then we talk about what's made available to both users, drivers and riders, the moment they request a ride or use the service. It's all housed within our safety toolkit. It's a one-stop shop that houses each and every safety feature made available to you, starting from the trip sharing feature. This allows both drivers and riders to actually share their real-time location with loved ones instantly. We've also got the in-trip audio recording, and this allows users, both riders and driver, to seamlessly initiate a trip recording, which then can be shared with either our internal CS support, or can be used to share with the authorities in the event of any investigation going on. Lastly, we've also got our driver verification feature, and this is triggered at random moments during the day. Could be at night, could be at day. During the day, it's random, and this allows us to ensure that the very first driver who we onboarded onto the platform is the very same person that is picking you up when you request a ride-hailing service.
Yeah, let's talk about drivers who violate or transgress. How many drivers has Bolt deplatformed as a result of that, and how many complaints have Bolt received from riders and users about driver behavior and safety issues?
Thank you, Oliver. That is a good question. Any incident is deeply concerning, especially when it impacts our platform. And we do know that these risks exist across transport in South Africa. No mode of transport is isolated from the broader crime trends we face in South Africa. And that's why it's important to us to continuously improve our verification, our monitoring, and emergency support, and also work very closely with the authorities. While we can't share any particular numbers, what we can say is that safety is our #1 priority, and any incident will trigger a review, an action, and an improvement from Bolt side.
Yeah, but what are the numbers?
So from a numbers perspective, Oliver, the last time we did share a publicly disclosed figure, which was late last year, we were able to share that we've onboarded 6,000 drivers in total off our platform. And this is just testament to show that we do have a zero tolerance policy. As soon as we receive
Simo, can I just understand it correctly? You've removed 6,000 drivers from your platform. Am I understanding that correct?
Correct.
And that was late last year. We're now in late
That was
this
late
year.
October.
What does the number look like this year?
So when it comes to the numbers, I'm not privy to share anything at this stage, but we do make these announcements each and every year when it comes to highlighting the type of action we do take when it comes to transgressors, especially from a driver perspective.
Yeah. So of those 6,000 drivers that were deplatformed from the Bolt platform last year, what were the three most common transgressions there?
So it usually just comes down to driver behavior. And we've got a particular focus when it comes to how drivers need to act and behave when they are onboarded on the platform. Safety, trust, and comfort is very important to riders when they use any form of ride-hailing platforms. And most of the transgressions that we do see take place is really just in the form of how a driver behaves themselves. And again, we've got the zero tolerance policy. As soon as we receive that complaint, we will immediately and temporarily quickly block the driver account pending further investigation, whether it's both internally or working closely with the authorities.
And just for clarity, these are 6,000 drivers in South Africa. Am I understanding that correct?
Correct. That is just what we've done in South Africa. It's cumulatively over a period of time.
Cumulatively over how long?
So if we look just in terms of our inception, we've been in the market since 2016. So that number that we published last year would have been from 2016 to date.
Okay, what is the year-on-year number? Let's talk about that. What was the year-on-year number for 2025? 2024 rather, sorry.
So I don't have the particular year-on-year figure ready at the moment, Oliver.
Yeah. Importantly here is some of the features, in-trip recording that you spoke about, which is an important feature, as well as location sharing and ride status sharing. Do users use these features quite commonly? And I understand Bolt, and I'm not sure if there still is a feature, but I understand Bolt also has a feature where female riders can request for a female driver specifically. Do users make use of these features, or do you notice that some are used more than others and that oftentimes users just sort of ignore it altogether?
Thank you, Oliver. So if we just reflect back on this independent study, there were three core elements or features that were consistently highlighted when we asked users what is most important. The first one does come down to driver verification. Riders do feel the need and appreciate the fact that they can verify and know who is picking them up beforehand. Additionally, it's also the live GPS tracking. Whether it's on their own mobile device or whoever they've shared the trip with, whether it be it a friend or a loved one, the fact that somebody can trace them in real time is very valuable, and it also holds platforms accountable to be able to share all of this information, not only to the users themselves, but when requested by authorities. When we talk about usability of these features, just again reflecting on the study, 96% of the riders do say that all of these features made available to them through ride-hailing apps make them feel safer every time they use such services.
And just to take a step back quickly again to those numbers, because it is about what happens after the fact of a feature being used and the effectiveness of them in accountability, right? Of the 6,000 drivers that have cumulatively been deplatformed over what seems like a 9-year period on the Bolt platform, how many of them have been by Bolt been reported to the authorities in the instances where there were criminal transgressions that had taken place?
Thank you for that question, Oliver. In each and every case where a criminal act has occurred on the platform, we work very closely with the authorities and share each and every information made available to us in the form of what's given to us from a driver perspective, rider perspective, and also what we track in our internal systems. We've actually got a dedicated team that works hand in hand with law enforcement, and they work hand in hand across each and every type of incident that is reported through to us, either directly on the platform or if the report meets with law enforcement first. We've got these connections across most stations in South Africa, and they've got a direct line of contact to our team to confirm and authenticate all of these cases in real time.
Yeah. And maybe lastly, as a theme to explore here, is driver safety. Rider safety is one thing, driver safety is another. Are more and more of your drivers feeling safer? What does the research data tell us? And what driver-specific features are being implemented on these platforms to make drivers safer from criminals?
Thank you, Oliver. Drivers do face safety risks, and we take that very seriously. Protection is two-way. We don't only focus on our riders, but equally also on our drivers, because both of these users benefit from our tools. When we talk about verification, trip traceability, emergency features, as well as regulatory compliance, these all contribute to safer working conditions. The key ask from our drivers is to verify riders in the same manner or form that we as platforms verify drivers. And we're proud to announce that we've got a new rider verification feature live in the market today, which is both smart and targeted, where some riders, based on the type of area that they are requesting from, the type of payment method they are using, mostly if it's cash, if they're requesting late at night, or if we detect any unusual anomalies in the form of high amount of cancellations, these riders will be subject to a mandatory form of verification before they can actually continue and take that trip.
Yeah, and how effective are these at keeping drivers safe?
It is effective because we know that if there's any criminal element using the platform to harm drivers, we've seen in the data that as soon as we ask for any form of identification, they stop the process there and there.
Yeah, but let's talk about the actual numbers of drivers facing, for instance, attacks. Has that number gone down?
So based on all our initiatives when it comes to safeguarding our drivers, we do see in our data that these numbers have gone down, especially when we look at it from a year-on-year perspective.
Yeah, what are the numbers?
So again, Oliver, I can't share any particular numbers today, but happy to take you through that next time we meet.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time, Simo. Really do appreciate it. That is Simo Kalajdzic from Bolt, which is a senior operations manager at Bolt e-hailing service in